Come up.
Maybe, if I can read it.
You can't read it?
A long time ago, up where the north wind blows, a reindeer was born with a ruby red nose. His name was Rudolph, and his nose was a sight. It wasn't just red, it glowed like a light.
Like a light?
John or his father thought Santa might say, "No red-nosed reindeer is pulling my sleigh." So when Santa Claus came around, Rudolph covered his nose and made it look brown. One day during the reindeer games, a doe named Clarice asked Rudolph his name, and when she told him she thought he was cute, his nose glowed as red as a Santa Claus suit. The reindeer all teased him. They laughed and made fun. Rudolph got so embarrassed he started to run. He ran to the woods and he didn't stop till he heard something ready to go plippity plop. Wonder what that was. Suddenly an elf named Hermit popped out of the snow. He was hiding in the woods so no one would know. He didn't want to make toys like the other elves did. He dreamed of being a dentist since he was a kid. He was a misfit, so was Rudolph. They were two of a kind. So these new friends set off to see what they could find. What they found was a creature, a monster, a fiend, the abominable snow monster, who was meaner than mean. He tracked them by following Rudolph's red nose. He would watch where the glow was and go where it goes. The Yukon Cornelius came around the bend, and the two lonely misfits found a new friend. He was big and brave and as strong as 10 men, which was good because Bumble had found them again. He chased them, roaring a terrible sound, thumping his chest. His feet shook the ground. Rudolph ran with his friends to where the ice ends. They were trapped. Or were they? Well, that all depends. When a mighty swing of his miner's axe, Yukon whacked the ice, which started some cracks. And just as Bumble got to the bay, the ice broke free and they floated away. A long story, by the way. They floated to the island of misfit toys, toys that needed homes with good girls and boys. There was an elephant with spots and planes that can't fly. A fish bird that swims. A doll with leaves in her eyes. A flying king lion. And a Charlie in a box. and the caboose with whistles that were shaped just like lollipops. Rudolph promised the toys that when he saw Santa again, he'd tell them about the island and come back for them. You see, Rudolph knew he couldn't stay. He knew his nose would give him away. His friends were in danger while he was around, so he left that night without making a sound. Back in Christmas Town, there was news. The news was grim. Rudolph's parents and Clarice were out looking for him. They were gone. They were missing. They had to be saved. Rudolph was sure they were trapped in the snow monster's cave.
Uh-oh.
And Rudolph was right. That's where they were found. Bumble had Clarice in his clutches. Rudolph yelled, "Put her down!" And then Henry and Yukon arrived in a sled. They tricked Bumble and dropped lots of snow on his head. Henry had to act fast, and before a moment had passed, he pulled all of Bumble's teeth. He was a dentist at last. Quickly.
No. I want to miss the page.
Oh, yes, I did.
Can't scare him.
No matter how hard I tried. Then Yukon turned. I have a really hard time seeing this. Then Yukon tamed Bumble. Now he's sweet as can be. So Santa let Bumble put the star on the tree. But they still had a problem that Christmas Eve. The fog was too thick for Santa to leave. Christmas will have to be canceled, Santa said with a sigh. Then Rudolph's nose started glowing, and Santa knew they could fly. He hopped in the sled and put his cap on his head, called to each reindeer by name, looking at Rudolph and said, "Rudolph, with your nose so bright, would you guide my sleigh tonight?"
Oh.
Quickly the elves wrapped all the presents, packed the sleigh full of toys, and gave Santa the list of the good girls and boys. From city to city.
See how the
Town to
Santa
town.
that'll be the gifts, Cody.
Yeah.
From rooftops to chimney, that Santa slid down. They raced through the fog till the night was done, till every toy had a home, every single one. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer shined his lights so bright it glowed like a star in the sky that night. And now, whatever the weather, Santa Claus knows there will always be Christmas, thanks to brave little Rudolph and its shiny red nose.
What do you have to say to Daddy, Cody?
Thank you, Daddy.
Was that a good story?
And I want to show you something.
What's that?
In the living room.
What do you want to show me?
Something. Come on, let's see.
What are you gonna show Daddy?
Why is the present still here? My big present.
Why is it there? I think Santa left it early.
Yeah.
It's a big box, isn't it?
You mean a big present?
It might be a big present. It might just be a big box. Maybe it's a little present in a big box.
No.
You think it's a big present in a big box?
But I think what's in there a Hot Wheels.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a Hot Wheel.
What if it's a cold wheel?
I think it's a big Hot Wheels.
What if it's a cold wheels?
No! Not a cold wheels.
What about a muddy wheel?
No, not a muddy wheel.
You
What about-
guess what is it?
What about just a warm wheel?
No.
Has to be hot, huh?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it gets in the sun, it has to be hot.
You can't open it until tomorrow, honey.
In the morning you can open it. But it's not morning time yet.
Yep.
And
I
I
know.
wonder if there's a Hot Wheels in there.
I don't know.
We'll see tomorrow morning.
Is that what you asked Santa for?
That you,
I asked Santa for a Hot Wheels. I did.
yeah.
Well, if you were good enough.
I was good enough.
Well, Santa knows.
And my present is under the Christmas tree with a bow, a red bow.
Uh-huh.
And this one doesn't have a bow.
Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
Can I show my bow? With this one?
You want to move your bow onto that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's an awful small bow on an awful big box. Very good.
All right, Cody. Enough playing with the boxes, all right?
And what's in here?
Don't take it out tomorrow. Put back, please.
I think that's just a card that came with your gift from Mark.
So can I open it right now?
You can look at the card.
And say good night, honey.
It's just a card.
Cody, look at the camera and say good night.
Good night.